first of all, just, again, thank you so much for coming this morning. We're really excited about the season. We're only into our third day of practice. It has been a great start so far. The team, I feel really lucky that we have a group of really good individuals, good players that have bought into what we are trying to do for, the transition when you have a new coaching staff and a new system, and they've been working extremely hard, and we are really lucky for the athleticism that we have coming back, and really, hoping to continue, the success that VCU women's basketball has had in the past.
Coach, I think the biggest curiosity is what systemically the team might look like, whether it be similar and up-tempo or dramatically different.
Yeah, I think the system will be pretty different, but probably more up-tempo in the true sense of what up-tempo is. We are going to, I love man-to-man defense, and we are going to use that all over the place. You'll see some full-court man. You'll see, a really aggressive style defensively, and then we're actually really going to try to run and keep the tempo of the game going fast, and not really be as much quick hitter oriented, and really try to run a motion and try to keep the pace a little bit more like a track meet, and see how that goes for us. So that's probably a big change for them right now. That and not playing zone all the time, and we will mix in zone. It's not that I'm against it. We will definitely mix up what we're going to do defensively, but really offensively we're going to try to go.
How do you go? I'm sorry.
Well, how long does the conditioning take for that? Because obviously if you're used to a half-court setter playing that, the man-to-man and then plus running all the time, what's your realistic expectations to where they'll actually grasp it physically and mentally?
Yeah, it's the hardest part, and I think we're really lucky with we have a tremendous strength and conditioning staff here, and they've been working with them all summer to really build a base. But there's definitely a shock to your system when you go from running to game shape, and that's just going to take time. Even for them right now, when we've gone from our 45-minute or our hour practices to 3 hours, it's a lot on their legs, and just trying to get used to that. So, I'm hoping that, by November, we're in good shape, and we're going to use our depth and try to continue to build that, so that when it's, start of the conference season, we're feeling great.
And that was one of the issues with Kira and Isis last year, I think, transitioning to that college game level.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, what kind of shape they're in coming into initial practices this year, more prepared maybe?
Yeah, that freshman year is hard, no matter what. Like, it's, the strength of the players, everybody gets stronger, and the pace of the game. High school time, you can make decisions so easily because it doesn't go as fast as it does, especially at the Division I level. And I think Isis and Key got a ton of experience last year, and that we have definitely seen that experience pay off in the starter practices so far. They're very vocal. They can score. Isis is one of the most explosive players I've coached. She's really strong, finishes around the basket well, and then Key, she's fast. She can get the ball out and go, and that's really what we're trying to do. I think our staff, really looked at the summer with evaluating our players and trying to see what we did have, what type of players we have, and then building our offensive system around them. And that's why we, after, working with them this summer, really decided, okay, we're going to try to really go. I think that fits what the skills that we have right now.
Robin Parks was such a big part of this program, specifically on the offensive side.
Yeah.
How do you see kind of the team filling the void left by her?
Yeah, Robin was a terrific player. Obviously, she just signed her pro contract for her, and she's been great. I've talked to her quite a bit, and they're really lucky to have such a had such a tremendous player. But I think with us now, there's just a lot more shots out there, and we're trying to figure out who's going to take them and where we're going to get them from. I think last year they did a really good job. They ran a lot of quick hitters for Robin, and the offense went through her. And it should have, 20 points a game. She could score in a variety of ways. And now we're in that little bit of that transition to find out, okay, who's willing to take those shots, and then who can make them as well. So I think that kind of gears in trying to make up for those 20 points. We're not going to do it in one player. We're going to try to be a lot more balanced, and also we're going to try to get it out of our tempo.
Do you think your system might fit Camille Calhoun a bit better than maybe last year? It seemed like she got lost a little bit.
Yeah, John, that's a great point. I mean, Camille has been terrific. What we're trying to do that's probably really different for them is that we want to get the ball out of the net or off the board and go. And Camille, at her size, did a really good job of rebounding last year. I think that was one of the things that she was really consistent with. I think her development has been more, can she score? But for her, I think what's been helping her confidence is when she gets a rebound, we want her to push it and go. And she loves that and has been buying into that idea. And then it's made everybody, get down the floor even faster when you can rebound it and you're not waiting for an outlet and everybody just goes. So yeah, it's been great having Camille.
The relatively young team, I think any seniors, who's kind of stepped up in a leadership role, who are you looking towards to kind of be that leader for this team this year?
Yeah, we don't really have, Mel Royster is, traditionally our one senior coming back. She's been great for us. She's been very vocal. And when you're a senior, you just have that, that mental toughness that you can get through anything. I think the younger you are, you're still learning that. But, I think Key has stepped up for us in a leadership role, as well as Daisy. She's been very vocal and has been in great shape. And that, obviously, when you're in the beginning of the year, it makes a big difference. So I think we're really going to see our leadership more by committee than really having that one, go-to player, that one go-to leader right now.
Is there potential for Monche to have a breakout season this year?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Jeezy does well is that she can really stretch the defense. We've been spending a lot of time with her on, a variety of ways to get off her three. And then she has length. And so the next step for her is we want her to be able to help us on the glass. I think one of the key things when you talk about being an up-tempo team is, can you rebound? That really dictates the pace of the play. And we are small compared to a lot of the teams in the A10, and we're going to really have to, group rebound and really be good on our glass so that we can dictate the tempo. And I think Jeezy getting some of those open shots in transition could be really good for us.
How do you see your opening day starting lineup?
That's a great question. We're in day 3. Maybe that can go to my assistant, Coach D, over here, because right now it changes probably by drill to drill. And I think you're going to see us, because of the tempo that we want to play, you're going to see us playing a lot of players. And I don't know that it's who starts the game. It's really going to be for us for who finishes it. But I think we're going to really try to keep that tempo up, and to do that, we're going to need to play 9 or 10 players.
Coach, a lot is made of men's basketball doing SEAL team training every summer. You guys did that this summer. What did you get out of that? Have you on any of your stops been around anything like that before?
No, I said that, one of the great things about being at VCU is having such a resource like Coach Smart. He talked about what an incredible experience the Navy SEALs training was with his team. And we jumped on board with it. And it's just one of those things that gets you completely out of your comfort zone. And it forces our team to really focus on their communication skills, their mental toughness. We were jumping off rafts in the river and swimming underneath a raft and coming up underneath. That's I was out of my comfort zone. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what's my exit plan? You have, and that's the whole point, is that you want to really be thinking team first. And when you have a group of, quite a few of our players can't swim. And so when you're putting them in the water, they have their life jackets on, but you're absolutely out of your comfort zone. And it really was. It was a great experience. I think our players got a lot out of it. I think, Officer McGuire hire did a great job with tailoring it towards our team and some of the things that we were looking to get out of it. And I think a variety of our teams here at VCU have used it this summer, and it's been awesome.
But you've got a lot of the same players back, but obviously it's a new staff. How do you guys as a staff sort of build continuity and build trust, with the team?
I think I'm extremely lucky with the staff that I have. They do an excellent job, and I think the biggest thing is that they are committed to a ton of time with our players. And we really, focused a lot of building relationships with them off the court, so that when you're pushing them in our practices, they really go. They're really competitive. They're up tempo. They're tiring, and when you're holding your players to that level of accountability on the court, they want to also know that you really care for them off the court. So we've done a ton of different team activities all summer, but it's really just been about the amount of time that our staff, spends with them off the court. We've got a really nice cornhole set in my office, and that was intentional. We wanted them to come into the office and not feel like they were in the principal's office, or and start building a relationship with us. And Key and Isis still talk trash about beating me and Camille in our cornhole tournament, and it's just different little things like that that we have in place to really just spend a lot of time with our players.
Coach, I think Shadira's been overlooked a little bit just because she had to redshirt, basically was eligible last year. She's a valuable player for this team, isn't she?
Yeah, she's very skilled. Chad comes to us from Auburn. She, did her year in residency last year, and now, has the opportunity to play. She's a very skilled player. She can score in a variety of ways. I think she's very smart. She gets the game. She understands what the defense is doing and where we're trying to look. And, right now it's just for her getting back to baskets actually count, defense, and, being back on the floor and being in the mix with everybody else and kind of getting your competitive juices going, because now you have the opportunity to play. But no, she's going to be a very good player for us.
Were you able to bring in any of your own recruits this year, or are the new players that were recruited by Marley?
The freshmen right now are, we only have one, Cordiana Breelove, and she was a previous commitment from the old staff. Ashley Pegram was one of our players that we signed right in the early part of the summer as well. She's a guard that is from Richmond that I think is very athletic and is going to play well in our system. So we did have the opportunity to bring her in, but the incoming or the freshmen right now are all signed by the previous staff.
What touched on some of the guards? You've got a couple of great guards coming back. You've got Shadero coming on board. You've got Ashley Pegram, who had a great year in junior college. What's the competition like at those spots right now? Because you can only play so many guards at once.
Yeah, we're going to be mixing around our rotation quite a bit. We don't really have true post players. So you're going to see a lot of those guards playing at the same time together. So I think the competition is always there. As one player heard, that one of their teammates was getting up a ton of shots, then all of a sudden they're getting up a ton of shots. And that's the culture that we're really trying to build this first year, is that we want our players to be in the gym a ton, and that they love basketball. And it seems like right now there is good, healthy competition among them. They're really excited when they do things well, but they're also competing. Honestly, I've coached at a lot of different schools, and I've never come into a program where the team is as close as this team is. They have great chemistry. They're really supportive of each other on the court, and then off the court they go in packs. They do everything together, and we're kind of trying to continue to build on that, because that team chemistry, it's tough to get.
That was exciting for you. You've got the practice facility going up behind us here, and then obviously a lot going on at the Single Center right now. How exciting is that for you to see that stuff?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I think it raises our level of recruiting. It raises our level of play. When we're talking to recruits about, we're going to have 24/7 access to your own practice facility with a dining hall, with our weight room, with, the video of what our locker rooms are going to look like. It's going to be one of the premier practice facilities in the country. And I think, it's a great recruiting tool, and it's also a great tool for your culture of your program, because now you have access to be able to practice, and players get in and shoot and really feel a different level of pride in their university. And we're just so grateful that the commitment to men's and women's basketball from VCU has been incredible.
What do you think some of the things are that you accomplished in your 3 years at Stony Brook?
Oh, gosh, I really enjoyed my time at Stony Brook, and I walked in, it was a complete rebuilding project. We had, it's the first time I've been in a program where we had players on our team that didn't even play basketball on their high school team their senior year. You might have one, we had multiple, and, it was building a program from the ground up. And I think it was great my first year, even though that, we won 4 games. It's still our team was in the top 50 nationally for defense, and then we could see the progression as we got our recruiting classes in. Our tempo got to go, and so did our scoring. But I also think it's great not great. I don't know that I'd go back and do it again. But when we won our first game at Stony Brook in January, and we didn't win a game until next November. And what that is like for a coach to go through, it really tests your confidence level, your belief in your system, and it also, I think, it really drives you in your recruiting. And it was tough, but I think it also helped prepare me, to kind of be the coach that I am now. And then, on the flip side, when you get to year 3 and you're winning 24 games, and you're in the conference championship, and you can just look at your players, and they're talking back. Do you remember our first day when we hadn't won a game in the whole month of January? I'm like, yeah, let's not talk about it. Let's focus on, we haven't lost a game in so long. But just for them, for our players to see that accomplishment and to be a part of that, I was really excited. And again, I got to bring most of my coaching staff with me, and they've gone through that, and we've, gotten to VCU, I think, on a lot of the hard work that we were able to, to help us do well at Stony Brook.
Kind of follow up on that. What were your impressions of this conference before you took the job?
It was one of the reasons I was so interested in the job. You want to go to basketball conferences, and you look at both the men and the women's, and the A10 is a basketball conference. When there's not, no offense, when there's not football, there's premier sports, and in the A10, you look at the number of teams that have gone to postseason play. Last year it was 7 women's teams, over 20 wins. That's great. There's not going to be a day off with your scouting, with a game, and you're really going to be tested through that conference play. And then you also know, last year was the top 3 teams went to the NCAA tournament. That's phenomenal. When it's not just you have to win the tournament to get in, and then you're also looking at the seeding. St. Joe's at a 7. The couple of 10s. You're getting yourself in a position to make a good run.
Coach, I think one of the reasons Shock is so respected, besides the winning, obviously, is that it's turned VCU into the destination rather than the stepping stone, so to speak. Do you kind of share a similar vision for what the women's program can be?
Yeah, I think I've been asked quite a bit, is this, how long do you plan on being here? I'm like, I just got here, I plan on being here for a while. I mean, I said this at our golf outing on Monday that, VCU is my dream job. We are in a great conference, in a great location for girls high school basketball. It's warm and it's really close to my family, and I think you can compete on a national level. And I think as a coach, when you're looking at jobs, you want to go to a place where, to be honest, where women's basketball matters. And from day one, with my conversations with Ed McLaughlin and his leadership with his administration, it does matter here, and that's a great place for a coach to be at. So I'm really excited. I can't wait for the season really to get underway, and then for us to continue building on it.
Can you talk a little bit about the transition been doing well, how do you adjust how you coach and what you're trying to accomplish because you're not in that kind of ramp-up period?
Yeah, I think, definitely there's still a little bit of a transition because of graduating so many players, but they have definitely a different taste for winning. And they know what it's like to go on a streak where you've won, quite a few games in a row and the excitement that comes with that. And I think that drives them to want to get that feeling back again. When you take over a program, you're really trying to teach them how to win. And you can get into really tight games and lose just because they're so used to losing. And that, for us here, they have it the other way. They know what it's like to try to finish a game out because of how great it is, that feeling when you do win. And now for us, it's just a variety of different players that are going to have the opportunity to step up and, like I said, get the stops, get the rebounds, dive on the floor, all that stuff that, helps you get wins.